It's obvious that billionaire Elon Musk is a serial entrepreneur, and one of the best of them, with businesses here and there that seem to be doing well. Also with Twitter, which he just newly acquired. How does he manage all of this and still manage to be the greatest entrepreneur of all time?
For the fate of humankind, I think it would be great to have more Elon Musks. So what do we need to do to become more like Elon?
Okay, let's start a bit back from when Elon was starting out on his entrepreneurial path. So Elon was a little boy who enjoyed video games like any other kid. Playing video games was fun and all, but how about coding a quick game, he must have thought. He went ahead and created a video game, Blastar, which he sold to a magazine for $500 at the age of 12. For 12-year-old Elon, that was quite an accomplishment, but I must mention, Elon didn't have any plan of becoming one of the greatest entrepreneurs there was. From there, no one would have thought he kept going and going till he got to where he is today. Well, not quite, but technically we can say that. Elon moved on to study physics and economics at a university in North America. Could this be a part of why he's such a great entrepreneur? I mean, studying economics. Well, if it is, I bet just a teensy little bit. He came out of college and now had to face life out of college. For some reason, he moved to Silicon Valley, which would be a major part of his entrepreneurial journey. As a young tech enthusiast fresh out of college, he tried getting his hands on a job, but was given the awkward silence probably because of the level of competition at the time. The awkward silence birthed the entrepreneur in him. Elon thought if he couldn't get the job, he better start something. Like most individuals out of college, Elon was in huge college debt and had no place to stay. Being so poor at the time, he couldn't afford a home, so he went ahead to rent an office as this was a cheaper alternative. He started his first company with his brother Kimball. The company was dealing in the business of converting paperback prints into digital forms. This wasn't common at that time, so it took that which no one else saw. As a young entrepreneur, he knew that if he failed, he could shut down the whole idea and move on to the next one or modify the idea and try again. But of course, he looked into the idea a bit further than anyone would look. He saw a possible future and went ahead.
We also had, a really tiny revenue stream, but we actually had more revenue than we had expenses. So when we went and talked to VCs, we could actually say we had positive cash flow.
With a burning desire to raise a successful startup, he and his team continued to pitch to print companies, eventually growing the startup to the point it was sold. After the sale, he didn't have to squat in an office anymore, and now had the means to invest in his next startup, whatever it may be. Moving forward, Elon established more startups that were either sold or developed to where they are now. After taking a quick look at his journey starting out, it's important to note the factors that make him such a good businessman and a great entrepreneur. Number 1. His genius. Elon Musk is quite a genius with insane thinking capabilities. He taught himself to code at a very early age and, as said himself, constantly had his mind filled with ideas. No doubt this played a huge role in making him a billionaire entrepreneur.
You can get a doctorate on many things that ultimately do not have a practical bearing on the world. And I wanted to, I really was just trying to be useful.
Number 2, his mindset. With his open mindset, Musk believed that anything was possible. And it is safe to say he has the billionaire mindset, which he always had, even when his name wouldn't show up in the top 100 richest people. With his genius, he could still have missed the chance that gave him a head start for his next pursuits without an open mind to his first startup idea. Let's fast forward to 2022 to see more of what's made him a billionaire entrepreneur. It's 2022, and it's Elon with crazier ideas and businesses. Elon buys Twitter, but shortly before that, he came up with a weird business for someone like him. That's right, he sold perfumes. It was called Burnt Hair Perfume, and he recorded a good number of sales from it. He sold out within 24 hours. Now, although this looked very weird, Elon didn't care, and even added perfume salesman to his bio on Twitter at the time. The next thing, he gets into Twitter HQ with a sink after finalizing his Twitter purchase. The thing is, he's not just crazy and doing crazy things. This brings us to the last part of why he is such a progressive entrepreneur. Number 4, his salesmanship. Elon is such a genius salesman. According to him, he sold perfumes because he wanted to purchase Twitter. "Please buy my perfumes so I can buy Twitter," he said. Now, with him saying this, I don't need to want perfume before buying his burnt hair perfume, but I'd buy it because I want him to buy Twitter. That was a strategic way to market his perfumes. Number 5, his crazy strategies. I mentioned him walking into Twitter HQ with a sink. Now, while that may look like him doing a very crazy thing, it may have been strategic or him just doing his thing. That could get you tweeting, "Oh, let that sink in," or sharing the picture or video elsewhere and making more people see his crazy, and maybe love it and come follow him for more and see more of that firsthand. And of course, more Twitter users, and that could mean doing better in whatever his next crazy business may be. Elon sure does know how to get you without letting you know he got you, or just gets you anyway, and that makes him the greatest entrepreneur of all time.